My name's Vasu. I'm the CEO of a company called Crossover here in the city, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about technology and just why I'm so enthusiastic about it and why you guys should be as well. So last week I was in India. We have an offshore center in India, so I was up there meeting with our development team, and I was trying to think about what I was going to say to you guys here. And at the same time, I wanted to talk to my guys in India and give them a little pep talk and get them excited about what we're doing and make sure that they were as excited as I was about what we're doing. And so I put together this presentation. I cheated a little bit because most of it I already shared with them, and I'm going to share the same stuff with you guys here. But the interesting thing was anyone you ask will tell you that I'm a rock. Most women will tell you I'm emotionally unavailable. That's what they will tell you. I will not cry. The only thing that can move me is a fantastic sports moment. That I will weep like a baby when it comes to sports. Anything else, I'm rock solid. And yet as I stood up there talking to our employees about technology and about what we were doing and why they should be excited, 2 minutes into the presentation, my voice literally started to wave. It was terrible. I literally came this close to breaking down and crying in front of all of my employees. And I had no idea why that happened to me. The last 3 slides of the presentation, I rushed through them. Literally, I was looking around. I was trying to avoid eye contact. It was the most miserable experience of my life. And I finished, and I sat down for 10 minutes, and I thought about what had just happened. And I came to the realization that I'm truly passionate about technology and what we're doing. Most people go through life not being passionate about even one thing. Anything. Can you truly say that you love something more than life itself? Until I was 25, a month ago, I would have said the game of basketball. And I still continue to say that. That is the one thing in my life that means more than anything else to me. And last week I found a second thing that means just as much, and that's technology and what we're doing. So I think of myself as being very blessed. So with that little introduction, I'm going to tell you why you should be as excited as I am about technology and what it can do to the world. So the reason I was asked to speak here is because apparently I am a minority in tech. I am not. I am an Indian. It's funny because when I posted to the MiTech meetup on my Facebook page, the first comment I had from one of my friends who happened to be African American was, "Dude, you're a freaking Indian. Like, you guys rule the technology world. What are you doing speaking at an event like this?" And to some extent that's true. As a Indian CEO, really the only problem I have is that 37 times a year I have to travel and go through that with TSA. Other than that, it's probably a good thing for me being Indian because people to some extent trust us with technology. But there's no doubt that there is a lack of diversity in this field. When I'm involved in recruiting on a daily basis, as a startup CEO, you spend most of your time recruiting and trying to get talent and convince people to come work for you. And one of the things I've seen is there's just a huge lack in diversity of resumes that I get. I'm hiring developers. Who am I going to get? I'm going to get an Indian guy, or I'm going to get a white person. The number of African Americans or Latinos who are applying to jobs at our company, and ours is a sports company, which is fun for everyone, it's next to nothing. We only have one African American developer on our team, and he was probably the only one who ever applied to our company, and he got the job. So there's clearly a lack of people in the tech world and diversity, and I think that needs to change because there's clearly talent out there that's been untapped, and for whatever reason they haven't come through, and so hopefully things like this will change. One of the things I was telling my guys, and I hope to tell you guys today as to why you should be excited about technology, is building beautiful things. Gone are the days when you can build crappy software that's enterprise software and then you expect people to use it just because you built functionality. This is one of my favorite examples. This is what credit card processors look like today. Even today, you go to a restaurant, you go to a store, that's what you swipe your credit card on. It looks like crap. And then there's Square, a company started by Jack Dorsey, one of the co-founders of Twitter. Who would have thought that a credit card processing company would be design-oriented? I mean, if you look at that device, you want to swipe your credit card on it just to believe that it's possible. Even if you didn't want to buy anything, you would swipe your credit card on it. And believe me, I did that. The day I got one, I swiped $1 just because I wanted to see it work. It's phenomenal what they've been able to do because they paid attention to the small details. And so when I talk to my developers, I keep harping on this fact that you have to pay attention to details. You have to build beautiful things. And what does that mean from a job perspective? It means that you don't necessarily have to be a software engineer to be in the tech world. Here's Amos, who's done fantastic. He's not a developer. There's jobs for designers. Designers are in high demand in the technology world. I would kill to have a great designer on my team right now to help us make our product a lot more, aesthetically pleasing at the very least. So keep that in mind. Perhaps you guys are design-oriented and not necessarily engineers. That doesn't mean you can't have a job in the technology world. It means you can have a great one. The best products are simple. Again, I use the exact same example. When I went to a credit card processing site to look for what we wanted to use at Crossover, that's what I saw on the right. Who wants to buy something that looks like that? It's garbage. And then there's Square, who tells you it's that simple. It just works. It's the Apple motto. You plug it into your iPad or your iPhone, and you can start swiping credit cards 2 minutes later. And that's what we use at Crossover. I probably could have gotten a better deal with another credit card processing company, but Square was just so pretty that I had to use it. And the guy down there is our head of products, Alex Kirtland. We call him Grumpy Gus because if you don't feed him on time, he gets very irritated, but also because the guy is a perfectionist. He will not let the smallest detail go. He makes sure that our system, which is incredibly complex, has been built with everyone in mind, with the end user in mind. You come onto our site, it just works. And that's what we go to our customers with. And I think that that's why we've been successful, is because we've been able to keep things simple. So again, from a job perspective, user interface, user experience, you don't have to be an engineer. You just need to have an eye for detail. You need to be able to think about what your end user wants and how they're going to interact with your system. And UI and UX people are in massive demand right now in the technology world because everyone and their mother is trying to build a web application, and you need wireframes, you need user experience to build good apps. So again, that's another piece of information to keep in mind. With technology, you have the rare opportunity to change an industry. Not all tech companies will do that, but I think a lot of tech companies do have the opportunity to truly change an industry. You know, guys like Apple, last week, everybody came out and cried and said how Steve Jobs had changed their lives. It's true, he really did. And I think that one of the things at Crossover that I feel very, very grateful for is the fact that we have the opportunity to change the sports world. That product on the right side is what our competitors sell, and it looks like complete garbage. Who wants to use something like that? I can't even figure it out. I have a degree in engineering, and I can't figure out how to use that. And then that's our product on the right side, which is running on an iPad, and you look at it in 2 minutes, you know exactly how to use it. And so I think that it's very important for people to understand that joining a technology company can give you this opportunity to truly change an industry. And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, if you want to leave a legacy, if you want to be able to go out 10 years from now and tell people that you built something that everyone uses and that everyone likes, and that you actually change the way people do business or the way people live, then technology is the route to get there. And so you should be very excited about that. You also have the opportunity to change people's quality of lives. These are some emails that I got. The first one up there is from a random coach a week ago, someone who bought our product and just sent me a random email saying, hey, you guys blew this out of the water. I can't believe what your product does. That's great. I sent that out to my entire team and I said, guys, great job. Look at this. We got a random email from a random coach who's super excited about what we're doing. But what's even better than that is an email like the second one. That's an email I got 6 months ago from a customer who was a potential customer who shat all over us. He did a trial run for 1 day and he shat all over us. And the minute I saw that email, the first thing that came to my mind was my heart just sank. I started questioning, what are we doing? Is this company for reals? I mean, if this is what people are saying about us, oh my God, this is terrible. The next thing that came to my mind was a little bit of sadness and anger. I was like, how could a guy take the time to write that kind of crap about us? And then the last thing that came to me was holy crap, people are excited about what we're doing. I thought to myself, how much crap have I bought in the last 25 years of my life? A ton. I can't tell you how much stuff there is in my apartment. I love to shop. And yet, I have never been excited enough to email a company a 500-word essay about their product and poop all over them. I've never done it because I've never been that excited. And yet, here's this potential customer who's sending me this massive email completely destroying us, and I thought to myself, he must really think there's potential here. He must think that there is a possibility that we could change his quality of life, and that's why he's done this. And needless to say, 6 months later, I got that email a week ago. It's one line. Very excited to use your product this year. So we managed to convert him into a paying customer. And these are little things that stand out to you as you go through this process of a startup, is these kinds of small victories mean a lot. A couple of weeks ago, we had a guy call in, and he bought our product for his son, who just got married. He bought it as a wedding present. Think about that. Who buys a internet software package as a wedding present for their son? And he said the reason he bought it is because this is going to vastly improve the quality of life for his son, and he's going to have a lot more time to spend with his wife at home. So these are the little things. I mean, when you can change the quality of life for people through technology, it should excite you. It's a long road. As Amos himself said, there are times when there will be no money. This is our bank account. Probably 2 years ago, I took a screenshot. We had $181 in our bank account and several people on staff. I'm pretty sure there was a point when that went even lower to about $2. And you just keep going. There's nothing else you can do but to keep going. There's our bank account more recently. I blurred out the numbers, but I'll tell you it's well over 7 figures. That's nice. These are the types of little things that you look at years from now and you remember the road that got you to where you are. And if you can get past the time when you had $2 in your bank account, shit, you can get past anything. And my team in particular, I mean, this slide resonates a lot with us because we went through several times when there was no money. We've been kicked out of offices without being allowed to take our equipment with us. We've lost everything. We've had employees leave in the middle of the night, tell us they're, making up all sorts of stories. We've seen it all, and yet we're here and we're still alive. And as a startup, I think that that's really all you can ask for, is that you're still here. So for people trying to get in technology, what you read on TechCrunch, that's garbage. Okay, that's not what really happens. Every one of those companies that's raised $500 million at a $3 billion valuation has the same trials and tribulations that I'm going through, having raised $4 to $5 million in venture capital. It's all the same. Everyone has problems. And every one of those companies went through the same sort of stuff. So don't believe that. If you think you're going to go into the technology world because you're going to get a bunch of stock options and then go IPO and cash them out, very, very few of them will actually come through for you. You need to be in the technology world because you are super excited about what it can do for you and what you can do to the world through technology. And the last thing I want to say is be inspired every day. Last week when Steve Jobs died, all of a sudden, the Stanford commencement video on YouTube got like 3 million hits in a day. Everybody's watching it. Everyone's saying, oh my God, let's live our life based on what Steve Jobs said. Then what happens a week from now? We're all going to forget about it. That's what happens. Every time someone great dies, we make a big deal about his words, and we think we're going to live our life based on those words, and then we don't. And so I like to tell people to really try to do that. It's important to do what you love every single day. And for me, I'm, once again, very blessed. Basketball, sports in general, technology, and business. Those were my 3 passions, and I'm lucky enough to be in that industry. Who knows for how much longer, but at least I'm there today. And one of my favorite speeches ever was Coach Jimmy V back in '93 at the ESPYs, when he said 2 things. He said, 1, never give up. Fine, everyone says that. But the other thing he said was, every day spend some time to laugh, spend some time in thought, and spend some time to be moved to tears. Be passionate enough to be moved to tears about something, and that's a hell of a day. If you do those 3 things every day, that's a hell of a day that you've lived. So my hope to all of you is that I've excited you enough about technology and the potential that there is for you in this world and what you can do with it. be inspired to do something great, and let's hope that the community can keep growing. So if you need me, that's my contact information. I'm happy to answer questions. Shoot me an email. There's never been an email I haven't responded to.
And his phone number.
And my phone number. I took it down pretty quickly.